didn't. We weren't. We weren't the hands-on. We weren't the hands-on machers of it, but we were the inspiration, and we were to a very big degree the big drive to help get it out there. So I very proudly take credit for the Tut Alts, all of us, that for that pu'ula. And now this incredible pu'ula, which according to what Sandy says, based on his talking with Shammai Chain, the cheshbon is quite conservative to say that at least 250,000 people participated, and that's huge. It could be quite considerably more. I just don't weiß nicht. And that's besides all the people that are going to be nisayder regarding Moshiach in general who are watching it later. So we don't know. But the actual tefillah itself could have had anywhere from over 250,000 to 350 to 400,000. We don't know. Our estimate, the reason we have this estimate is simply Shammai Chain, one in charge of running it, says there were 40,000 direct hits, which is a pretty significant number. Now that does not count all the people watching using COL versus Nayas, Yeshiva World, Arut Sheva, and Eretz Yisrael that was playing on Kikar Shabbos and so on and so forth. It doesn't account all those people. Now, I, for instance, okay, I didn't watch it on UnitedGeula.com. I watched it on COL. Okay, so if that's true, he says that live events like this, you have to at least double, at least. It could be way more than that. But even when we're conservative, we double 40,000, we get 80,000. It does not count the French feed. So if we're going to, I have to reach out to Tanachum and find out what the French thing showed. It was a complete different feed, that one. So if we pull that in as well, who knows? I think it's easy to say 90 or 100,000. Now, most people watching it, or a lot of people from I know places all over were watching it. Some people, families, and some people in groups, in some schools, in different places. And some places had 15, 20 people watching. I, for instance, my whole mishpacha, we were actually dressed in Big Shabbos. We were all waiting. So my wife says Big Shabbos is not good. It has to be like going to a chasana. So we were ready, but so we were like, we watched it with 4 people. But so we averaged at least, we put an average of 3 per view. So based on that, you have an easy 300,000, 400,000 people that could have been watching it b'shas ma'isa, give or take. Could have been a little less, could have been a little bit more. But these are significant numbers. And that doesn't count all the people that were calling in. I don't know. I know that my phone was ringing off the hook right at the beginning of the event because my sister sent it out and had so many people, and people in Muncie, Lakewood, people like that who don't use the internet really. So they wanted to call in. Problem is we forgot to hook it up, but we got it on after like 15 minutes into the event. 20 minutes we got the phone working. I'm not sure Kol Mavasser was hooked up. I have to find out because I'm just the people that were in charge of doing it are just sending me the bill from Kol Mavasser. So I hope it was working, just to pay a bill without it working, basically. But that could be tens of thousands of people because we advertised it in all the newspapers, and a lot of people could have been there as well. So we're dealing with a whole lot of people. So it was an incredible, successful event. I'm thinking just an interesting thing. Before Shavuos, the event was the pu'ula that was done before Shavuos and over Shavuos. It started before Shavuos. Was a Torah event. It was Limud HaTorah. And now that it was Elul and Rosh Hashanah, it was a huge maybe there's something that needs to be done in the chesed and kind of, I don't know what, but thinking about that as a possibility. But one thing is for sure, we're in it till the very end. It's not something that we can pat ourselves on the back and say, oh, from Ketana Pu'ul. The point of our group and this inspiration is that we're not going to stop until we get the job done. And the Eibishter is going to see that we're dealing with a bunch of akshanim. And so is that. So Be'ezus Hashem, we're very, very inspired by what happened, but we're very driven to move bigger and stronger and better. And I think the fact, whoever's on this phone now, the fact that we were managed to pull it off. Now I have to say something. We pulled it off without a full-on office of people working. Who was working over here? It's us, all of us together, pulling it from all ends. Everybody's busy. Everybody's got other stuff going on. So somehow this got pulled off just from here and from there. And I have to say, without a budget, there was no money here. We should all replenish. I don't want to say what's on my credit card, but and some monies came in, but not yet to cover the whatever.
Maybe you should.
Yeah, we have to still replenish. But what I'm saying is that had we have ourselves backed, Minatzchim, I think, and we were talking to somebody before a while ago. We had a conversation with someone who wanted to form a minion of Balabatim who are going to commit a significant amount of money to the pu'ulas that we want to do. There's no reason, with all the money that there is in Lubavitch, if you can go light and people like this, there must be people who have a deep heart for Moshiach. There must be. And I think if we create such a back group, who they're the ones who are going to, they're going to look at the projects that we are doing and decide. I mean, this is what the guy actually suggested, that we should come up with various different projects, and they're going to have this group. They're going to look at it from their perspective as well, and from also they're going to have like a few mashpiyim who are going to give kind of the what they feel is a good thing, and we should be able to have huge funding for the things that we're doing, so we're not limited in the way we were limited this time. But Baruch Hashem, with all the limitations and with all the difficulties, this is incredible. Why am I saying this? Is because I really feel that we have something now to take to the greater group of shluchim. We're not here to be an exclusive group. We're not here to be a club that that no one gets into. We want every shliach that's out there to be part of this group, and we need to. And all of that, I think, is going to help much more to help us organize and to be far more efficient. I mean, this was great. I think we were lacking in efficiency a lot because of the fact that there's just and if there's more Mesudadige groups that are each one, for instance, in this particular work, we could have had a subgroup that's in charge just of marketing, and a subgroup that's in charge just of fundraising, and a subgroup that's in charge just over the tech elements. And so if we had like groups and groups and groups that were like set up, we can definitely use the minds and the talents and the abilities of a solid 100-man team. And we have officially on the Minatzchim 120 or 130, but not everybody obviously was active. To be able to get 100 solid guys active, it would be probably good to have 300 guys checking in, tuning in a little bit on some of the meetings and so on and that. So I think that's a very high priority now. I think on Aseret Yemei Tshuva, I was thinking to write something up myself and put it on the California Shluchim, simply another invite to the Minatzchim group, and invite everybody. Please, we need everybody's participation. And this is awesome. This hasn't been here in the past. And the fact that we committed to something a couple of months ago, and we're still meeting once a week. Yes, there were meetings that there were maybe only 4 or 5 chevra or 6, 7. I'm not exactly sure what our lowest is, but the fact that the nucleus is in and here is huge. And it's time to grow it, to intensify it. And I think the success, and I think that these 2 pu'ulas that were done, which were such a massive breakthrough and such a success, should be something that we can now build on and make it much bigger and stronger. And Chavta Eibishter's appetite is not growing. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. I don't want the Eibishter to have ideas that he's going to wait till whatever. We've given it above and beyond. I was going to say to Shoshana, I got very emotional. I gave a speech to Shoshana the first day, and I really took the Eibishter to task for Tavshin Pei Aleph. I let him know that it's unacceptable, and I told him that after we had all our hopes high in Pesach 2 years ago, when everybody was waiting for Moshiach to come through the door, to dangle Moshiach in front of our noses like that, and then pull away at the last second, and then to give us a year like Pei Aleph with whatever happened, is nicht. It's past nicht. So I was very intense. But one of the thoughts that was coming to me was the idea that just because the Eibishter knows that our commitment is believable, that's not an excuse to be able to pull Taka out believable. We've already demonstrated believable. So on his end, it's if you know that your spouse is going to tolerate who knows what, it's not an excuse to push it to the end. And then just because she has a very high tolerance, it's nicht gerecht. So I don't want the Eibishter to have any ideas, but on our end, our commitment is, I think that's the point of Minatzchim. Our commitment is believable. And that's the Nakuda, Yechidish Benefesh. And if I'm inspired. We have our Minatzchim group, Baruch Hashem, but to do this Pu'ula, we joined with a few women. Their devotion is it's not literally. There's no sleep. There's it's non-stop. It was crazy. They're shaykh to Moshiach more, but. The Mashiach bug, once it goes in you, it does deliver. It opens up koiches bli gevulim, and that's what the Rebbe was calling for. So, I think we're ready to say Hineni. Zawza. Okay, I gave my little monologue. Everyone, please.
Maybe we should get a couple of more women.
No, the women were good. They had. It's interesting. They established a Minatzchim group on their own, the women. When we started a little after hours, they went very strong. And I think, in a sense, during the time that they had it, it was, I think, even more, I think they had more, whatever. But I think they kind of ended it. I don't know. I have to find out. It has to continue. There was anyone, Mandy? Mandy thinks that just because he runs the Zoom meetings, he can sit quietly. As I trachter.
But did you give a report of how many and what we know who came on to the event? The numbers we have?
So I gave that a little bit before, but this is what I heard from Sandy, as I told you. He had 40,000 direct hits. If that's 40,000 direct hits, means that doesn't count the COL hits. It doesn't count the Vosses Nayis. It doesn't count the Yeshiva World hits. It doesn't count Kikkar HaShabbos. It doesn't count JDN. It doesn't count all these websites.
Doesn't count France.
It doesn't count France either. So I have no idea. But and considering that a lot of people were watching it with many people, we can be talking in the hundreds of thousands that were participating. What this did, Lamaila,
I think the exact number was. I'm sorry I interrupted you, but I think the exact number was 600,000. Also bin ich Messiah. Sag mir, ich bin nicht gerecht.
I was thinking that the fact that to have that, just to think about this, just to have that type of Rabbanim, they're all on one thing. Even if they would be talking about potato chips, it would be an incredible accomplishment. The fact that everybody spoke about crying for the Geula is, even if no one attended, just to have that group of Rabbanim, but to have it's huge. It's huge, definitely huge.
I think we should remember this is not a numbers game, right?
Yeah.
You haven't made it very clear. It's all about one.
Yeah.
The Rebbe said it's about one. So sein einer.
And I will tell you. You see the way Rabbi Moshe Brisky was talking and others. To many people, this wasn't just the tefillah. It was mamish shvichas hanefesh. People really davened. So we don't even know how deep this went and how far this went. It was definitely something else.
I can tell you what a woman told me today. I think she also told me, she sent the email or she posted, etc. She told me this Rosh Hashanah was a completely different Rosh Hashanah than ever she experienced before. And I asked her what happened. The honey was better. So she told me, after coming from such a Moshiach input, my davening was not about my wardrobe. My davening was actually about Moshiach.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
Simple person, a simple woman. Meredon the Grace Askalik Sidis. She said it was a totally different, as she compared it was interesting, her comparison. Says she became from like 30 odd years ago. Says, I felt this Rosh Hashanah as the first time I went to my Shliach Rabbeinu make the first time a proper Seder. There was a new experience. Seder always used to be a brisket family get together. And then when Rabbeinu invited me, that's where she was discovered by Rabbeinu, the first time I went to him and had a proper Seder, that's how I felt this Rosh Hashanah. Interesting comparison, right? And look. So I'm sorry I came on late because today Mincha was longer, as you realize. So Mandy at all times I come on late. So, and he apologizes for me for Mincha. So today's Mincha was longer. So that's why I'm a little later. But there's no question about it. It made a tremendous Kiddush Hashem. But as the Rebbe told his eye doctor, right? Which we know the story. When the Rebbe went for a procedure, I think it was a cataract. And the doctor asked the Rebbe, can I ask you a question? And the Rebbe said, sure. So he tells the Rebbe, I like to travel. That's one of my hobbies. And he's not an orthodox individual. I've been all over the world and I've seen all the amazing work that your shluchim do. After all this work, how come Moshiach is not here yet? So the Rebbe says, and I have the same question. And the Rebbe added, and therefore, I don't let my chassidim sleep. That's the Nikud. So there's no question. What we have done has definitely been a tremendous nachas without any question. It's undoubted. There's no question about it. But Lepoel, the Rebbe will not have this. Okay, Rebbe, you're an action. You're action too. Finished. So you wanted it to be action. So we'll continue to be action. And one thing I'm convinced, and I know, it might sound apocryphal, but I'm convinced that the Geula is going to be not at the day that we are preparing. I'm convinced of this. The Rebbe is an original. He makes his own dates. He makes Ahei Tevas. He makes his own dates. He creates his own dates. So as the Rebbe told them when the guys were standing in front in the foyer of 770, right? Ramash, the Rebbe, we all know the story, right? So the Rebbe walked in and the Rebbe, so we have to plan and we have to do and we have to make the world shattering events, but he's going to catch us exactly at the moment that we whatever. hopefully with a jacket and not with a jacket.
I would say such a moment is Sam Gedalia. Wer tracht Sam Gedalia?
With a mask, 100%. Nobody disagrees.
We're ready for the Sudas. Lost in the share bird, no?
Yeah,
We're all hungry.
absolutely.
We had a suggestion that they should have a cooking show. It was on the Minatzchim. It was really cool.
What for
If they
Sam
have-
Gedalia?
because they would have a lot of people would, they'd make the chefs get together and they make different recipes for Trader Bar.
Out of what? The Shoyrabah? I think we're going to get it ready. It's been cooking for over 5,000 years. By now it should be well done, no?
So we have to do a pa'ula to get more. The Minatzchim group has to grow, and I was mentioning this to Zusha earlier that now that we have two powerful successes, one with the Tut Alts and one with this event, I think wir haben sich fast zu schämen to take a degel, a big banner, and call the shluchim more people to get seriously involved.
No question about it. I know Me'achoira Pargut, the Tut Alt campaign, Shloimi, and the Moshiach office, is apparently preparing something be'ein aroch more than the Tut Alts.
Oh, wow.
And he's banking on the support of the Minatzchim, the involvement and the support of the Minatzchim. I don't know the details, because when he sent out the word, he said, the project is too much for me to give it in a WhatsApp. I have to explain it to you. It's something apparently is going like full force. It's covered. There's the backing. Everything is there, ready to launch. And he wants to come up with it still before Yom Kippur. And I know he's hoping to be able to bank on the just like in the 2000 even more, that we should give the full support.
So Mendy was asking how. I'm going to send out my own little letter. I'm going to write, talk about the two things, and I'm going to put it out on the Shluchim, California Shluchim. But how did we get the thing put together in the first place? The way it all started, it was Yud Shvat. Actually, it was Friday, erev Yud Shvat. Yud Shvat was Shabbos. So it was Friday morning, and I woke up feeling like very frustrated that
you meant to say
nothing big was done for Yud Shvat. And I had this thought that we should create a group of shluchim that would meet somehow. Again, it wasn't formed exactly the way we're doing it now, but it was someone's idea. And the idea was that I said to myself, if I call 7 shluchim, and each of those 7 shluchim, each one calls 7, that was, I think, the initial or something like that, or each one calls 10, that was the thing. I'm going to call 7. Everybody, I wanted to give everybody more work than I did. And everybody called 10, and so we'll form a group of 70 chevra. For 70 years, which Shnas HaShivim. So for 70 years, we'll have 70 shluchim. So just like we did it at the beginning, and that's what I don't know if everybody was doing that, but that's how the Minatzchim group was formed. I think that's ultimately the best way to get people on, is have a direct conversation. Hello, this is I think people have to hear, this is a very serious effort. This is the first time that there is an effort that's actually not just talk, but the Poyol Mamish people are committed to bring the Geula and not stopping. And we want no one is gonna, I don't know how much, it's out of sight a little bit, but the Rebbe's last meeting with us as Shluchim, the Vayeda Chayesara Nun Beis Sicha, the Rebbe gave us this task as Shlichus Achim. I think 30 years later, it's about time we take this seriously. So I think if we send this out, or we ask people, say, this is incredible. These are 2 events that happened already. They were huge success. And with the help of more chevra, we literally can turn over the whole world. We mamish have the ability to do it. We need more manpower. We need more people. We'll have more ideas. We'll have more energy. We'll have more. But I also think, and this is important, there has to be, I know what I'm good at. I'm good at creating an inspiration and the thing, but I'm not a organized person at all, and I'm not good at setting. I think we need better, like for instance, this whole event, even from the Minatzchim group, there were a few that got involved, and I think if somehow there is a better organizational network where people are people's achrayas and then people's talents can be used out to, in whatever fields they are, to all work in a cohesive manner. In other words, when we set up official offices, I don't mean office, but it could be, what is it called? Virtual offices, but people are in charge of different areas and different aspects. We will be much stronger. I feel like the oidus the tayu we have, but the kelim, the tikkun, we need to develop better and stronger.
I would like to, if I may, agree and disagree with you, as we have been doing for a while. I think part of our success as Minatzchim is that we are not an organization.
Mm-hmm. I don't mean organization.
And this was told to me once. I think I've shared this in the past, but this was told to me once about the head of the federation years ago. He told me, I became friendly with him, and he tells me, Rabbi, can I change your stationery? I said, Manny, you're in the printing business. What's this all about? He says, no, I would like to give you a name that reflects who you are and the reason for your success. He says, you got me curious. You call yourself Chabad Lubavitch organization. I would change it to really show who you are and the reason for your success. He said, and he didn't say it sarcastically, he meant it serious. He says, I think you should call yourself Chabad Lubavitch Yud, this organization. This is your success because you are disorganized. You're not busy with making an organization. He says, we in the Federation, we're busy a whole day worrying about the organization. We have no time to do anything. You have no organization. You're busy doing. So I think this should be your station there. Now, we didn't go for it, but there is a very valid point in it. Once we say, this one is Achroy and this one is Achroy and this, and this one is Achroy this, so can ich doch gehen schlafen. But if we're all in it together, this event, this one gets involved, and this one gets involved, and this chaptzachon, and yena chaptzachon. I don't know. This is maybe that's how I do my own shlichus.
Maybe you're also like me from the word a little bit from Tohu.
Oh, here we go. Whoever posted this, right on. Is this copyright or we could keep this?
I'll share it on the Minatzchim. I'll share it on the Minatzchim.
Share it on the Minatzchim, and it's coming from you, Shkoyach. A thought which I would like to throw out, and this is not at all to minimize the importance, because as I said, I know that Shlomi is banking and hoping on our strong support in this big campaign he's going for. But I was thinking if we could build further. A lot of people that I got back feedback was the fact that it was a tefillah. The concept of the ubikshu, what's gehabt of the ubikshu, the tefillah, right? And as somebody made a comment, he told me, if we wanted everybody to daven, it was like a link missing there, telling, now let's all daven. It was there, but it was like not him. But then he said, the whole program was one tefillah. Every single one who spoke was a tefillah. And he's right. Everybody spoke for the concept of importance. I wonder if there's any way we can develop on an ongoing basis. I know there's some groups already existing, from some women, I think, that everybody should undertake every day a kapitel tilim or whatever, a tefillah specifically for the Geula. Alle Yidden in the ganze Welt. I don't know if we're allowed to do this. The Rebbe, we're not there to invent Milufzoim, so we have to be careful with this. But places we can, if we can do something like this, everybody should add every day, either throw in an extra coin in the pushke, Lemana Geula, Alam Natzeach for the Geula, Kapitel Kufchov for the Geula. I don't know. I'm wondering. I'm just throwing out the thought over here.
It's a good thought. Everything, that's exactly what we need to do. Everything that we always do, only now it's focused on the Geula. That's what the difference was, this whole Vikshu was.
I think it was also not only a tefillah, I think it was one big shir in Yana Moshiach Geula.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Besides davening, the main thing that everyone should learn about it.
Yeah.
That's something we should
take to particular speakers, break them up, transcribe what they said. Did we collect email addresses from people signing up at all that we can continue to share it?
We have some, it's not a lot though, as far as I know.
Should there be a press release of after the event to be sent to all the?
That would be very nice. I think we should get some
together with
testimonials.
the Achlatas. That's what I meant.
We really we should get testimonials. We all have what people experienced, and we should get statistics. We should
Right.
Find out from Tanchum, what does he have on the French? And I wonder if there's any way to find out.
Wasn't there a Russian one also, a separate Russian one?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. He was talking about it, but I don't think at the end it happened.
One about in Spanish, because I sent the whole file to someone in I think Argentina.
So reach out to them, find out.
What do you mean in Spanish? They didn't have their own.
See, the Tanchum took the entire program, and he had someone translate and put French subtitles on the entire program.
Yeah, but he also had his own, what is it called, URL or something like this. He had his own,
And so he ran his own thing.
he ran his own thing. And I think he was the only one who did it. Buenos Aires went out with a very, very powerful campaign. Heavy WhatsApp, direct social media.
Who?
What?
Who?
My son did it.
Ah,
He has a huge social, and he developed it since COVID. As an example, last year, before Rosh Hashanah, yeah, I think it's for Rosh Hashanah, that's right. To be able to go, because the restrictions in Argentina was crazy, so he had to make shofar blowing on street corners, and no more than 10 minutes before the police comes and sends you packing. So people had to register where they live, and they had to send an email with an email address where they live, and they would send back an email where they should go at what time.
wow.
He picked up 14,000 emails. Okay? And 14,000 people went to the different street corners in Buenos Aires to hear the shofar. And then he continued with Megillah reading, continued with all these programs. So he has, and he sent out to all his listeners about the event, the United for Gola thing. That's probably in addition to what Mrs. Grunblatt said, that she's also going to send to her groups, etc. So, but they did not have their own feed. They joined the general. In fact, there was actually, I'm sure you saw, there was talking about Argentina, a woman that posted. The woman posted from Argentina, it's a whole, how inspired she was, and she has a program with a group of women.
That was with Rivki, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, let's think how we could further this. I think if somebody could make a nice write-up about the 600,000 people minimum that joined. And
it's okay. I'm okay to back out.
What? I missed something.
Well, we should try to pull together some better statistics.
Okay, good. But it's important to send it out right now and let it know that even if it's only for Anash, even just on COL and the other places, and on all those websites, they carried it, they did it. And Ami might write something about it.
If we're sending out a press release to places, I think that we should have on our website a cut from each speaker. You can click to see what each speaker said, and I'd be happy to help do that.
That would be very nice.
They came in clips, so that's not
We have them.
difficult.
I know it's not a big deal. We just got to put
We
them
have all
up.
those clips.
Shmuley, I'll send it to you.
It's in the folder, no?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Whatever happened to the one from Breslov? We never opened it. I got some complaints because there is a very busy WhatsApp group here, and there's a number of Breslovers on. Somebody posted, "Tune in because Rav Arush is speaking directly from Uman." No, I didn't make a comment, but she took it for granted. Rav Arush is speaking. She knows he's in Uman, so he's speaking directly from Uman. And unfortunately, his piece didn't come through. So
then it's easy because then we can say the Ukrainian connection wasn't so well.
And I think also we should send a thank you note or something to all
To
the
the Rabbanim.
speakers.
I left a strong message for Moshe Weinberger,
Okay,
and I didn't hear back from him. But yeah,
I think it would be nice. We should send a little
yes.
a thank you note.
Mm-hmm.
Wie sagt die Welt? Es hat noch keiner nicht gehabt, Kapatsch für eine Chamife.
We need so we have to start brainstorming where we go from here. I mentioned earlier, I just think it's an interesting observation. Shavuos time we had the Tutals. It started before in Tzvira and it was Shavuos, and that's Torah. Elul time, which is Tefillah, Be'ikr, we had a Tefillah event for Moshiach. Is Daf L'Chure, the one kav that we have to figure out is to do some big Gemilas Chasadim event.
You want to go for a fundraiser?
Not a fundraiser, but let's figure out what it is that we can maybe inspire, a unique, interesting thing of kindness for Mashiach. The Rebbe said, do goodness and kindness. That's interesting. One of the messages that Rebbe said, goodness and kindness, they're both
Good.
in Kav and Gemilas Chasadim. So maybe we can come up with some kind of an original idea. That would be really, really, really interesting.
There were some ideas in the past. An international good deed day. And this is Eden und Lahavdil, the ganze Welt.
That could be a very powerful, if we can get that done right, can be so powerful.
An international do good.
Because that's so easy. It's so easy. That would, in a sense.
It's called International Good Day Week and Day. They have them already.
Yeah, no, but this one is
but
this is to usher in the redemption. This is
That's
to with that kavanah. And then you and for something like that, it shouldn't be hard to get. I'm talking about for Lubavitch, to get some big knockers of the secular world, whatever, to endorse it, and then that it can go really big, and then from the Frumavelt it's a different story. But I'm saying it would require a different approach. But I think this can be, and this is something that really could be done, unified, the Frume and the non-Frume. Meaning, when it comes to tefillah, this, that, it's a little more, I think, sensitive, But when it comes to tzedakah v'chesed ala zoltan, I think it's more acceptable to be a unified a thing from the entire world.
It's something that we should think. And maybe if somebody has time to go on the website and look up all those organizations that have these do good activities, etc., etc. And maybe we can glean and then maybe we unify them. Could you imagine the UN should go out and declare International Day of Goodness and Kindness for the purpose of Geula? And then we can get world presidents, maybe even Biden before he falls asleep, that he can also not do it.
It was really.
I'm sorry, Americans. I didn't mean to be
but you know what's funny?
Disrespectful to your.
In Melech Elyon, so you have all the pieces about the Eibishter, and then it says Avol Melech Evyon, whatever. So
Right.
in the second piece, it says Eshloft the whole time. It's Eshloft, and at this, and I'm thinking, oh, this is so perfect.
How about the Umita de Zohar?
No, but the second passage about the patheticness of a human king is all about and I was thinking, oh, Stakigit, as you referred to him, sleepy, whatever.
No, but joke aside, I mean,
Yeah.
this, as you said, Torah, Tefillah, and Maisim. This maybe it's interesting. Interesting point to say.
No, because we had two events that
And the Rebbe says to act in the realm of goodness and kindness. That's the Rebbe's word. It's in the belt.
Yeah.
So if we could literally get the world behind it, and that's something that we get lahavdil, even lahavdil goyim, and there is big.
It should be easy because people like that. It's that everybody likes to stand for a good cause, and everybody's dreaming today of a better world.
Yeah, absolutely. We just need people to have the access to these Bill Gates type of guys.
So that's why I think we should get some more chevre into the Minatzchim.
Yeah. Well, the more people we have, I'm sure that somebody has.
There's people with a lot of connections.
That we don't even realize. We
Yeah.
don't even realize till we have to go look for it. Oh, I know someone that knows someone.
Yeah, there you
And,
go. There's no doubt that just from shluchim, we have access to everybody everywhere. Yeah, so the
Rebbe sagt, na feine mit der Welt, das ist die Welt.
Mhm.
Und tut es durch die Schluchim und durch die Jingelach, was gehen mit Zäumen.
Yeah.
If we would be able to galvanize the contact that these kids have, it would be amazing. It would be amazing.
Naftali Astulin used to say geschmack of word, as you say, as the blowing of the shofar confuses the son. Every time he wants to open his mouth, he blows shofar. So Naftali tells me always, he says, look what the Rebbe did. It used to be that the Satan knew. In Australia, blast shofar demos. In Eretz Yisrael, they blow shofar then. And he was kind of able to wiggle his way in, that he had a couple of minutes that he was able to get in there. There was no shofar, and he can go in. He says, when the Rebbe unleashed the Bachrim on Mivtzayim, he says, there isn't a second that me blows nicht. There's someone clapping someone on the corner. He says, me macht them to dreit. I just thought it was a whole new irva vasasatan from the Rebbe's Mivtzayim tkiyas.
No question about it. So where are we going from here?
We're going from here is
I think you should Tanya for the behalten, but the oisis machshava b'maisa. This is not in machshava to b'machshava.
First thing we need to do is we have to find some money to pay for the streets.
How much? How big is the debt?
I have to make a cheshbon. That's why everybody. I would like to. That's why I said that we should put up a. We have to create just a document. Anybody? What would be the best thing? You would know, Shmuley, maybe. We need just some kind of a document where we can put up everybody that had expenses and stuff to put it up, and I can also put in there all the monies that came in and do a thing, so we get a I don't know, just use a regular Excel sheet.
Regular Google spreadsheet will be fine enough. If we get so much that it becomes more complicated, Baruch Hashem.
Yeah. Okay.
But you know what? I think it would be nice, worthwhile, for all the expenses to go on, even if you covered it.
What?
That everyone, whatever expense, he printed 5,000 papers, cost him $300, whatever. Everybody, it would be good to know what the actual cost of this event was, even if you're not asking for money to pay you back.
Yeah, for sure. No, we need to know that. We need to know that.
Every place, every city, what it did.
So, Mendy, who are you going to sign to that? We need just no. I just need a spreadsheet. Now I can have a whole lot to post. Mendy, can you put up a spreadsheet?
We probably have those already.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look for one. I think we have them that we use for the program.
For the expenses? Okay.
No, I mean a spreadsheet. You could just put in whatever you want.